I'm excited about getting into today's presentation. So let's just go ahead and jump into that now. Let's get rolling because I want to share with you guys um, why beekeeping has recently become much more challenging. What's going on with this? And it used to not be challenging. I mean, it kind of always was, but I want to explain this in a little more detail. Now, you remember I started beekeeping almost 30 years ago. And back then, beekeeping was not nearly as complicated and challenging as it is today. And I'm going to share with you why that is. But let me just give you kind of my overview of why it's becoming, and most recently has become so challenging. And when I started beekeeping long ago, it was so simple because we didn't have a lot of things that we have today. For example, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have social media. We didn't have Facebook forums. We didn't have the tons and proliferation of hive equipment and hive products that we have today. So beekeepers have had so many things thrown at them, so much information, so much product, and it's becoming so challenging because it's difficult to know what you're supposed to be doing with everything that you're hearing, everything that you're seeing. So let's break it down today. Let's jump right into it. New beekeepers and experienced beekeepers too, not just new beekeepers. They're finding beekeeping much more difficult than it was 30 years ago when I started. And beekeepers are oftentimes faced with problems, but they don't have solutions to the problems that they have. And that's the most frustrating part of beekeeping. I really do think it is. It's when you're in your hive and you see some things going on and you see that it's a problem, but you just don't know what the solution is. I see a lot more of that today than I've ever seen it. It's worse this year than I've ever seen. I don't know if it's an influx of beekeepers that are brand new, or if the mentorship is not available like it once was. People just aren't having good mentorship, and they just don't know what to do with their bees. And new beekeepers, of course, are dropping out at alarming rates, high rate of dropout. Nearly 80% is estimated that beekeepers drop out during their first year of beekeeping because of these things. They just can't keep their hive going. They don't understand it. It becomes much more frustrating than when they first started earlier in the year. As they go on, they just don't know what to do. And the other kicker is there's a lot of false or wrong information that's being circulated through social media. We get most of our information on the internet through social media, and a lot of times that information is not scientific, it's not accurate with beekeeping, and it can be very misleading and confusing to people. Well, why is beekeeping more complicated than ever? Well, one of the reasons is we do have the introduction of more diseases and more pests that we didn't have 30 years ago. We didn't, about 30 years ago, we didn't really have the Varroa destructor. We didn't have small hay beetle, for example. We still had the brood diseases, but they were rare. As really, the American foul brood is really rare today. European foul brood is more common. But so in the old days, we didn't have some of these things that are brought to our attention today. And there's information overload. Now, this is a serious one that I want to talk about today, because this information overload, pay close attention, because I think I'm really going to help you guys understand how to navigate this overload of information that we have. And some of it is misinformation. And there's online forums, there's social media, and these can spread misinformation that causes confusion. And as I mentioned a second ago, the increase of product options. This is a really tough one because a lot of new beekeepers feel that if they can get into a position where they can get a product to save the day, then they don't have to think so much. And that's the way our society has become. That's why a lot of things we've made easier in our homes and our cars. Let me give you an example. Let's start with a car. Now, in 1960, when I was born, 1960, you take a car from the 60s, The car was pretty simple. No power steering, no power brakes, and it did not have electric windows. It didn't have rear backup cameras. Just go through the list of the luxuries that our cars have today, and it wasn't on that car in the 60s. If you looked under the hood, you could see through the engine, you could see around the engine, you could see the ground. I'm talking to some of you that know what I'm talking about. You can open your hood in your 1960 car and you could see the ground under the hood because the engine what was under there didn't take up the entire space. There wasn't all the things that we have to have today to make everything work. And it was easy to change your oil, your spark plugs, your, things like your distributor cap pieces and all this timing. You had to do your timing and all that, but it was much easier car. And so it was an easy car to work on. It was an easy car to kind of keep going. And most of us did our own mechanic work on our cars. But now you look at your car. Now it's the same car, 4 wheels, brake, gas, steering wheel, but look how complicated it is, right? A digital screen. And most of the components like your brakes, your steering wheel, your gear shifters and all, they're not really linked to anything. They're servos that operate the computer through electronic wires and all. So the whole car is much more complicated. And we have a lot more products that we can buy and add to the car, right? Either interior, we can put a lift kit on a truck, we can just add so many gimmicks and gadgets to a car or to our trucks. Same in beekeeping. Beekeeping has followed that same path. Out of search for convenience, we have this desire to make beekeeping much more convenient, much more comfortable. And the companies are hearing from us, and they're making all these things. My gracious, there's so many things that's unbelievable. Like when I first, up until about 10 years ago, I think, I was making my own push-in queen cages out of hardware cloth. And you can look at some of my written blogs that are still online. And I describe how to make a push-in queen cage. There weren't plastic push-in queen cages. I don't think I have one near me. But now I often thought back then, wouldn't it be nice if we had a push-in queen cage? It'd be so easy if it was made out of plastic. I didn't have to make my own. 10 years later, they're everywhere. You can buy them for nothing. And they're very valuable tools. So we have this increased products. And it sounds like a very good thing. Like, oh, it's so good that we have all these products available. But at the same time, it is very, very confusing. Because if you don't have a strong foundation in beekeeping, then you're just grabbing for straws on trying to figure out which of these things that I need. Do I really need all these gizmos and gadgets that are being sold? And as I walk through the vendors at different conferences, I am amazed at the angle that many vendors are taking to sell products. They're being very creative, and some of these items are very useful. They're very convenient. Again, they're very confusing for beekeepers. Well, what's the solution to this influx of diseases, this increase of information that is just overwhelming to us? Well, what's the solutions? First, I want to recommend this. I recommend that beekeepers limit their source of information. Now, hold on, hear me out, okay? I think it's important. It's just think of it like this. Let's say you want to ride a bicycle. You've never ridden a bicycle before. Well, you don't want to start out with a 10-speed because now you've got 20, 22 gears that you can shift. You've got pedals where you can lock your shoes into pedals. You've got a 10-speed nowadays has hydraulic disc brakes. Shifters are built into the brake levers in front, and it's confusing. Even if you knew how to ride a bike, a modern day bicycle today, especially more of the road bikes, can be very complicated. So if you're just starting out, you want to limit your source of information to learn how to ride a bike. So what you want to do, you want to buy a very inexpensive bike that you're going to crash and not care, and you're going to put training wheels on it. If you're a little kid, right? You put training wheels on it, and it's a 1-speed bicycle. That's all there is, 1 speed to it. but you learn balance, you learn how to pedal, and finally you can go without the training wheels. Now, as you progress in your skill and knowledge of riding the bike, then you can escalate what kind of bike you want to ride. You might have such skill set that now you're okay shifting gears and you're okay with adding a few features to it or getting a different bike because now you can ride the bike. So first you need to limit your source. And what I mean by this, don't start out with the most complicated hive and the most complicated things that you can do on that hive. Here's the thing. If you're brand new to beekeeping and you're just trying to figure it out, I mean, brand new, within 5 years of keeping bees, I'm not sure if you need to start out trying to do some of the more complicated things. For example, like the Demarest method of swarm control. Now, the Demarest method isn't overly complicated for an experienced beekeeper, but it's mind-boggling to somebody that is just not that familiar with your hive yet. And so you need to limit your source of information, limit your sources of things you're going to try, and try to become more familiar with the basics first. Limit the source. Also, when I want to talk about limit the source, you need to limit the source of where you're getting your information. I know that sounds terrible, but hold on. Hear me out. This is for someone who is overwhelmed with all the different things that you're hearing, and you don't know which of the 1,000 things to try on your hive. I heard this guy say I should try this. Another person said I should feed them this. Another person said they should be in the sun. Another person said the shade. Someone said screen bottom board. Somebody said solid bottom board. Someone said Formic Pro. Another person said acylic acid. Some people said 2 deeps. One person said a single deep. I'm overwhelmed. See, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, don't do that. You'll be frustrated. Limit your source. Pick a reliable source that you feel comfortable with, a mentor or someone online, and just stay with 1 or 2 people until you can take the training wheels off and you have a very good working knowledge and foundation of beekeeping. And once you do that, you can begin to venture out and explore more with different things that are out there available to beekeepers. So the next thing I want to talk about is aggressive simplification. Kind of goes along with what I've just said, but the sheer volume of information that's out there, quite honestly, is overwhelming. It's overwhelming for me even to keep up with it. And I've got my nose to the grindstone every day trying to figure out what this new product is. What's that new word? What's that new item? And I'm in it, all day long. And so by aggressive simplification, I'm talking about if you're new and you're having trouble deciphering all this information, just be aggressive and simplify. Simplify your beekeeping right now, starting tomorrow. I want you to stop trying to add all the products into your scope of things that you do. Stop trying to figure out everybody's opinion on every different things. Back off a little bit. That time will come when you can enjoy all the amount of information out there. But you're not going to ever enjoy it if you give up before you get there out of frustration. See what I'm saying? Please be aggressive and simplify what you're doing. It's bees. They're bugs in a box. There's 20 frames if you have 2 deeps, 1 queen, 4,000 bees. Let's simplify this thing, okay? There's a bottom board. There's frames. There's 2 deeps, a top cover. That's all. They're bees. And all of this complication that we have been faced with has only recently happened in the last couple of years. Beekeeping has really taken off. A lot of people are getting into beekeeping. A lot of people are on YouTube with information now, saturating the internet, Facebook groups. But if you're not careful, you're going to be things are going to be so complicated. So start now trying to simplify everything so it's not complicated. The information saturation really does lead sometimes to you hesitating. I don't know what to do, so I'm not going to do anything. So it also can cause improper hive management. because you hear various things, you don't know what to do. And some people tell you to manage a hive a certain way, and all at once, you're not really managing the hive the way that you should be, because your hive is different than somebody else that you watched. And sometimes it results in poor decision making. There's just too much going on out there. And I don't know how to make proper decisions because I can't figure it out. So here's the deal. All right. Take a deep breath. This is the most important thing I want to teach you today. You have to allow time for the information that's presented to you to be absorbed in your head and practice with your hands. It doesn't help any if you keep absorbing all the information of various sorts that are sometimes contradicting each other, and then you never do get to put it into practice. Your mind is just filled with just beekeeping, various ways to do beekeeping, and yet you haven't really went out there and tried to practice what you're absorbing. So I think it's better to absorb a little bit at a time from a reliable, limited source. Keep it very simple, keep it really simple, and then start applying it in the field and seeing the response you get from the bees, and how you're handling your bees, how you're progressing with your colony. So, in YouTube, I don't talk that much about YouTube, but I get asked sometimes. People will say, David, you got a big channel. I want to start a channel. What do you recommend? How do I get to be a YouTube content creator, grow an audience like you do? And I like to say this: make 200 videos and really don't care about the content. Just make 200 videos, and then we'll talk later. We'll talk after that. And the reason that is because until you do something over and over and over again, you really don't know if you like it or not. And you really won't get good at anything until you put your time in the saddle, right? It's a 10,000 hour rule, makes for a great person to be a master at something. So in beekeeping, it's the same way. I don't know why a lot of beekeepers feel like they have to be perfect after their first year. You don't really become perfect until ever. You never will, but you become better. Have I ever taught you guys this? I don't think I have. That there's three things about I work my YouTube channel, and this applies to you on your beekeeping. So let me explain it two ways for you. When I make videos, I don't try to make perfect videos. I did at one time until I realized I can't do it. I'm not perfect, and I can't speak perfectly. I can't produce edit techniques perfectly. I can't write scripts perfectly. The bees don't cooperate when I'm filming them perfectly. I can't make perfect videos. Down below perfection is excellent, and down further from excellence is good enough. So I decided that I would make videos that are good enough. I think that's awesome. I got this idea from Casey Nestat. His brother, what's his brother's name? Vince, I think. His brother shared this, and he said that if you do things good enough, long enough, you will move closer to be excellent. And the more you are in that realm of doing things more excellent, then it moves closer to perfect, but you'll never be perfect. So I like that in beekeeping. You got to look at beekeeping and myself back in here. You have to look at beekeeping the same way. When you're starting out, your first 5 years, simply be comfortable doing beekeeping good enough. Don't have to be excellent at it. You don't have to be perfect at it. Just be good enough. Now, how do you define good enough? Good enough for yourself. Good enough. Each time you do things good enough, you're improving a little bit by repetition. And before long, you're doing things good enough, and you're moving closer to being excellent at beekeeping. So beekeepers that are, if someone wanted to say they were an excellent beekeeper, then they've done things good enough for a long time. Because what we're hoping that we can do is accumulate not just book knowledge, not just YouTube knowledge, not just conference knowledge, but we have to really move to a place where we experience what's going on in the hive by observation. So time in the hive is the most valuable thing that you can really do to grow your ability to face the challenges and the confusion and the complexity of beekeeping that's going on right now. Because I guarantee you, if you really start pursuing all the different things that are going on today, we've got tons of conferences now we used to not have. We got a ton of vendors there. We've got a ton of internet resources today. It's going to be overwhelming. So I hope this is helpful for you guys. Wow. It's helped me a lot. And it's an approach that I take with a lot of things when I start out brand new to stuff. I just have to take that approach of saying, okay, I don't understand it completely. I'm learning. I got to absorb it as I work. As I do it, I'm absorbing and getting better at it, and it's working out pretty good for me. All right, let's take a moment. Let me see if I need to talk about anything else. Oh yeah, I do. I want to say that some of you often wonder if we have a website. We do have a website, honeybeesonline.com, and we do sell things that I have created to help beekeepers, and that we have an address if you want to write to us, have me speak for your club or your conference, honeybeesonline.com@gmail.com. You can always write to us as well there. That might be helpful. So that way you'll know where things are. Oh, let's see. Let me get myself back in the center here. There we go. All right. Other things coming up. I'm going to be speaking at the Ohio Honey Producers Association, I think, at their conference coming October 25th and 26th, along with some great speakers that will be there as well. And if you guys are interested, just jot down or look up on Google the Iowa Honey Producers Association meeting coming up in October. Look forward to seeing you guys there. Looking forward to speaking there as well. All right. Okay, well, I want to thank Jessica and Robbie for helping out tonight. Sherry is traveling and not with us tonight, but I appreciate Robbie and Jessica. And we'll go ahead and take some questions, see what kind of questions are on you guys' mind tonight in the beekeeping world or anywhere. Any question, I guess. I can probably answer any question you ask me. Beekeeping questions will be answered more accurately than other things I might answer. We'll see, right? All right, Shane, we noticed a ton of bees at work on the front of the building. Oh, at your place of work. Honeybees where you work. I see. I thought you meant bees were working. I don't believe it's a swarm as they are not confined to one spot. Lots of kissing and behind sniffing going on. Wow. Okay, that's explicit. I understand what you're saying. Could it be that they're on the front of this building and they found an entry into the wall, but they're just not all liking the inside? It's too small and it's not the 4 liters. It's not big enough for the swarm really, and they're not sure what to do now. And they're landing there wondering, some of them are inside, some of them are outside the wall. I got a hunch that might be what's going on, because honeybees aren't the kind of bees that just hang out on the outside of a wall unless they had swarmed or something like that. So I would check that out. That's going to be hard to see. It could be as small as just a 1/4-inch circle of mortar that broke out of the wall that they could be going in and out of. Hey, thanks, Mark, for your super sticker. It's always great that you guys donate to help the cause tonight. I really do appreciate it. And if you don't, or if you're not able to make a donation to the live stream tonight, you can always go over to our website at honeybeesonline.com. And there we have a spot that you can click on, look for it on the left side. You can donate to the live stream through donating through our website. Yep. All right. What other questions do you have for me tonight? Donna, how are you? Oh, you lost your queen today? Oh, Central Kentucky. Does the colony have enough time to raise a new one? It's still thriving, full of eggs, larvae, and cap brood. Yeah, Donna, I'm saying they do. I was in my hives today, plenty of drones. I actually saw drone brood. And so if you have brood, Donna, drone brood, and you see drones in your hive, that's the indication that everything's going to be okay, that they probably are going to do fine raising a new queen. Yep, we're getting a little bit late. I realize your trepidation about it, but it should work out fine. Keep an eye on it. You got to wait 30 days. So do weigh the decision to maybe go ahead and buy a queen, and that would speed up the process. Yeah. Hey, Mike, good to see you. This is the only YouTube beak I listen to. Well, I don't know what to say about that. Thank you. All right. I do appreciate you listening. Yeah. I'm humbled by your saying that. Hey, Chris, if I need to feed during the dearth here in Pennsylvania, should I remove my honey super prior? Not all frames are capped, but most are full. They've been uncapped. They have been uncapped for going on 3 weeks now. That's a good thought. Chris, I dedicate usually one super for my hives, and I know that they're going to probably put some of my feed in it, one honey super on top of my 2 deep. So I just leave that there. I don't really worry about it too much. If I am going to take it off for myself, I never like to feed my bees so that any of that sugar water would get mixed into my honey. It's not going to kill you or cause you to be sick or anything. It's just not legitimately nectar from flowers. So it's kind of your call to make on that one. Yep. Oh, thanks for the $5. Local Buzz. Brian G., thank you so much. Appreciate that super sticker tonight. If you scroll down below the comment section, there's a place there where you can donate to the live stream. So we do appreciate it. Hey, Karen, I'm a new beekeeper this year. Hive with 2 medium boxes, no brood in the second box of frames, just nectar and honey. Wondering if I should remove the second box so I can treat for mites. Okay. Good question. So you've got 2 mediums in Pennsylvania. That's kind of a small configuration of boxes, and especially since it sounds like the top one doesn't have any brood in it. So that is small, but okay, that's what you got. That we'll run with that. You're wanting to remove the second box so that you can test or treat for mites. I don't really see no brood in the second box, just nectar and honey. I don't think you're going to take any of that honey off of that second medium box. It sounds like the bees need that. So if you can use a treatment like oxalic acid or Formic Pro that you can use with that honey super on there, I would prefer you do that. And if you have plenty of bees, yeah, it wouldn't hurt to do a mite test and decide if you need to treat. Sounds like the hive is getting there, but it's not quite there. I'm getting that opinion from being in only 2 medium boxes. Yeah. Hello, Mark. How are you? When can I move the hives together in my yard for wintering so the foragers don't go back to the old location? I'm in central Wisconsin. So you're wanting to tighten up the bee yard by moving your boxes together to face winter. Yeah, I get that. Usually when foraging is over. For me, Mark, it's going to be first week in October. Everything will be killed off by some hard frost. So the bees won't forage. They won't have anywhere to go. And so it's safe to say that you could kind of move your boxes then, when you have some hard frost that kill all your fall asters and goldenrod, and bees just aren't flying. Be a lot safer to wait until it turns cold. For me, that's going to be probably November, December, where bees definitely aren't even breaking cluster. So that would be your safest bet, not to lose foragers. Oh, Robert Cook, thanks for your donation today and the super sticker. Give a shout out for you guys for supporting the live stream tonight. Always appreciate that so much. Yeah. Hey, Rick, late spring split in a single deep and tons of bees. Should I put a second deep on, feeding 1-to-1 now? The problem that you're going to have, Rick, is you may not get that second deep pulled out. If it's drawn comb already, you could put it on there and see if they might move up there and start working it, laying eggs, bringing resources in. Boy, if it's not drawn out yet, if it's just foundation, you could try it, but just be prepared to take it off because a lot of things may not happen. Now, if you're going to feed them, they might do it, but I can't say for sure. My experience is it's not impressive to try to pull something off like this late in the season. Yep. In the spring, it would be easy, but right now, pretty tough. Yeah, it's a roll of the dice. Hello, Brian Hill. Thank you for your donation tonight. Thank you once again for tirelessly putting out such advice. First year here in Massachusetts, I think. And you spoke about, always get the M states confused. You spoke about limiting our sources of info. You have been my only social media source of information thus far. I'm not saying just listen to me. I appreciate it, Brian. I want to clarify that. I don't think I'm the only source. I think there are people much smarter than me. I think there are people that have a lot of information here on YouTube and on the internet that are superb to listen to. I'm just saying that if you feel overwhelmed because so many sources are coming at you and you're not sure what to do, that's kind of why you need to limit your sources. Yeah, but I appreciate that. Oh, the mag question. As a new beekeeper, should you request an inspection when you register your new apiary with one hive? Good question. And what is meant in the question, in case some of you may not get it, is that many states have local apiary programs through Department of Ag, Department of Natural Resources, extension offices. They have bee inspectors that will come to your property and inspect your hive. And so it's not a bad idea, since you said you were a new beekeeper. It can be helpful to have an inspector come when you register and just introduce yourself, say, hi, I'm new and I'd like to know more about beekeeping, and what can you tell me about this hive? What can you show me? You might learn a lot. It's usually, I think it's always free. So you can learn a lot from the inspector. He or she will give you a lot of insight. So yeah, not a bad idea at all. Absolutely. Hey, Greg, thanks so much, Greg, for your donation tonight. Appreciate it a lot. Your donations help us to have guest speakers and allow us to have giveaways, which we have coming up pretty soon. By the way, I'm going to be working with Dr. David Peck again to have him back on our live stream. All of you are big fans of Dr. Peck, as I am too, and he's now our academic advisor for the Master Beekeeper program at EAS, which I'm a part of. So it's great to be working with Dr. Peck. And I told him, hey, David, you're going to have to be back on our live stream. He said, I love it. Can't wait to be back. So be sure and be looking for that. Hey, John, David, goldenrod is blooming. I see that my bees are bringing a lot of pollen. Do I need to feed my bees now, or should I wait? Thanks in advance, John, Black Dog Apiary. You know, the amount of nectar that flowers produce is going to vary each year. So even if goldenrod did produce some nectar last year, it may not be such a nectar source this year. So we really don't know. Best thing to do is look inside the hive and see if you see an increase in some of the frames that are being packed with nectar or not. I've done that study myself. And one of the ways that I do it is that I'll take a deep frame that's empty but drawn out, and I'll put it in the middle, somewhere close to the middle of the bottom box. That's oftentimes where they store a lot of resources this time of the year. And I will do this. I just call that my little test frame. Thanks, Justin, for your donation. I appreciate it. And that's my little test frame. I'll put it in there and I'll leave it in there for a week. And I'll go back in and look at my little test frame. And I'll say, oh, look, I see nectar. I see pollen. Or I'll say, oh, look, there's nothing. And, you know, it's one way to do it. If all the other frames are filled up, you can't really tell, right? But you put your empty test frame in there and just test it out and see how they're doing. That's one way. It's kind of fun to do it. Save the other frame you took out, because they probably won't fill up your test frame. You have to put your other frame back in there. So think about that. I'll have to make a video on using a test frame like that. Hey, Lou. Hi, David. I just requeened a hive that lost the queen. Sorry about that. Any recommendation on building it up before winter? Northern New Jersey. EAS is going to be in New Jersey next year. We don't know where yet. Looking forward to that. Yeah, building up with a new queen. Hopefully it was a mated queen, and she's going to be able to lay, you know, really quickly once she gets acclimated to your hive. And by feeding them one-to-one, I think that would be a big help to stimulate the whole colony to raise that brood that she's laying, get her fed well to start laying. Feeding is always going to be a winner, I think, Lou. Feeding from the top, not the entrance this time of the year. Take off the entrance feeders. That can induce robbing. Feed from the top with a top feeder, like our feeding boards that we sell, but feed from the top and see if that they don't kind of get caught up there. Yeah. again, we're in a place here in Illinois where it's going to be tough to really get bees to do much building more than this time of year, more than they already have. Hello, Chris. Is it a good idea to take hive that isn't doing well and have very little brood to add to a hive that is very strong? Their deep is very full of honey, but just no brood and didn't see the queen. I understand your question. Is it a good idea? Meaning, could it be bad? If you know enough about beekeeping, Chris, to be able to inspect that hive that's weak and determine if there's diseases, any kind of diseases or extreme infestation of either varroa mites or small hive beetle. If you eliminate that there's no pests out of what's normal, and you don't see any signs of European foul brood, sac brood, chalk brood, European American foul brood, you don't see dangerously contagious things like that, then it's perfectly fine to combine them. And most of us will do that. I made a video today where I'm going to be talking and sharing more about combining hives. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, but do check and make sure you're not combining a diseased hive into another healthy hive, because the disease will spread and take out both. Hey, David. Another Dave. Yeah. I have a queen that refuses to move to the bottom brood box. I've tried placing her down with frames she's on. She would move back up and not into the supers. How can I get her to lay? Got a good approach. Okay, here we go. This is where it's handy to put your queen excluder to work. Yeah. Just move your queen down to the bottom, slap a queen excluder. So she has to stay down there. Now she has no choice but to lay in that bottom deep. You could also use the metal frame cage. You could put her a little more labor intense, but you could put her on a frame in the cage and leave her in there for a few days, 5, 6, 7, and then swap out another frame, cage her, make her lay in these frames. I mean, hey, desperate times calls for desperate means. But I think that queen excluder between the two deeps with her below is going to get her to lay in that bottom box. Yeah. Thank you, Jim, for your donation. Greetings from Salem, Indiana. Oh, that's just that way of me a little bit. I live about 7 or 12 miles from the state line of Indiana. So I don't know where Salem is, but at least you're close. All right. Sweet Vapors. Does the winter bee kind candy board have beetle issues like pollen patties do? No, I've not seen that. And the reason is because it's the time of the year that you're feeding bees. When we feed pollen patties, that's usually when beetles are at their most, like in the late summer or fall. The pollen patties have a little more gooiness to them, where the candy boards are more hard candy. So I haven't seen that. Not to mean that the beetles wouldn't like it, but I don't think there's as much protein in a winter bee kind board as there is in a pollen patty. Thank you, EL, for your super sticker tonight. Appreciate that so much tonight. Yep. Great support. You guys are so kind to support our channel, both the YouTube videos and the live stream tonight. So appreciate it. Hello, Marianne Livingston. Appreciate you being here tonight. Okay, it's 3 hives a few feet apart. Why would one a gallon of sugar water and the other 2 didn't even finish a quart? One is a bit smaller, but not 4 times smaller. Oh, these are good questions. How bees metabolize the need for their sugar above them is hard to figure out, because it has to do with the makeup of the individual age of the bees in the hive. 40,000 bees, what age are those bees, right? If they're all foragers, or if they're all adult bees, they're older in age, or are they all nurse bees, younger in age, how they metabolize that sugar water depends on the age of that hive and what they're doing. If they're raising brood, for example, and drawing out frames, they're going to use the sugar water a lot more. If they are pretty set, they don't want to make any more brood. They don't have to make any more wax or anything. And they don't really have any place to put the sugar water. And they're not going to go get it. What are they going to do? They might consume it just for their daily nutritional needs. But it sounds like the hive that's guzzling it down really has a big, big need. It sure does. Jasmine, thank you for that nice super sticker tonight. I appreciate your donation tonight. Really do. Yeah, I've seen the same thing, Marianne. I've seen bee colonies that won't touch hardly sugar water, and other ones I'm thinking it's leaking. I actually put cardboard down underneath it because I think bees can't consume this much. And sure enough, nothing was leaking. They were just consuming it. Wow. Hello, Sherry. Does a pollen substitute trigger the queen to lay eggs? Is that a bad idea if you're keeping mite levels down, keeping them warm enough, keeping the moisture out, and feeding them through the winter? That's always going to be a matter of debate, a matter of discussion. I have found in my personal experience, it's more backyard anecdotal observation, I would say, that if I feed my bees protein substitute, pollen substitute protein powder in the fall, mixed with my sugar water, it really does support the colony to raise more brood of bees of winter physiology. And likewise, it carries over in the winter be kind with the same mixture in that hard candy. Same thing. You can watch my videos if you need to look at how my bees respond to it. You can see my colonies coming out of winter. Some of my videos, I show you what the population is in the winter and coming out of winter. So every time, bees are a lot like us. When they consume food, they stay warm because they move their thoracic muscle, and that generates heat. They need carbohydrates and protein to work those muscles. So for them to make heat, they need food. Just like when we eat a meal, we get hot. Hey, Travis, thank you for your donation tonight. I appreciate it. I want to plant a ton of flowers to give extra pollen for my honeybees, but I was told by an experienced beekeeper that it would be a drop in the bucket to do it. Is this true? A drop in the bucket, meaning that you're going to put a lot of flowers out there, but bees aren't going to really care. Pretty much true. Yeah, I think if you had a half acre that you could plant flowers in, you would get the bees' attention. Now, it's not to say that if you plant some flowers here and there in your yard or your property, that bees aren't going to be there, especially the young bees that live near your area or, within feet of your flowers. The young bees will take really short flights to get familiar with foraging onto those flowers that are nearby. But once they get their wings and they're really licensed to fly really far away, off they go 2 or 3 miles away to a better nectar source than the flowers that you planted. So it does make the beekeeper feel very good, though, to do that. We feel like we're contributing to the cause of helping our bees out. But again, if you want to put some alfalfa, for example, it takes almost a half acre or an acre to really get bees excited about that particular field. Hello, Sally. How are you? Thank you for your donation tonight. Very kind of you guys. Thank you and your team for contributing to help us. Well, I do like helping you guys. I really do. I know some people that are very knowledgeable, but it seems like at times they don't have an outlet to share their knowledge and wisdom. And I just think, wow, I wish they did, because I just love listening to them talk. So with what little knowledge I have, it gives me great joy to share it. It really does. I love sharing my knowledge. I'm going to take a couple of more questions, and then I got something to show you, and then we're going to have a giveaway. So stay tuned. Hey, Justin, I moved a 5-frame nuke to a 10-frame deep this past Friday and noticed bees everywhere yesterday, assuming robbing, but now my queen is gone. What should I do? I'm not 100% sure if there was fresh larvae. Pretty common, I think, Justin, that something like this can happen. Let's assume that it was being robbed. They probably killed the queen, and they probably stole a lot of the resources in there because it was a small colony. What should I do? It sounds like you need to combine that with another hive with a newspaper trick. It sounds like on their own, they're not going to do very well anyway. So I would think about combining that. Yep. Now look at this. I'll take a few more questions. Don't go anywhere. Have you seen this before? Oh, I saw this at EAS. There was a gentleman named Matt, and he was actually showing these. And I think he had a vendor place where he sells this. And I want to show you this. apologize for the camera, but look down in there. There's an egg. See, some of you had trouble seeing eggs. Not anymore. Look how easy it is to see that egg. Well, now you just kind of make that 100 times smaller and get used to looking at it all day long. But these are great little teaching tools. And I'm going to show you a few more. Stay with me. I'm trying to show you here. Anybody know what this is? I pulled one of the cells out. And no, it's not a place of worship. It looks like a place. It's a capping, but it's a drone cap. So, it's kind of a cone shape there, bullet shaped brood. And inside you would see drone pupae in there. I don't have a drone pupae, but I do have another. Look at this. Hang on. This is starting to be either completely capped over or being opened up because inside is, let me just take it out for you. Look at that. A purple-eyed pupae. Is that a drone? No, I can tell by the eyes it's not. But so there's a pupae. Now these are not real. I know some people might think, wow, how's he handling that? So anyway, there's a whole bunch of these little things that Matt offers. And I love playing with these little things. I can't show you. I need a camera up there. But all these little cells are magnetic. And these are for educational purposes. And you can just let them snap together like this. So I say all of that to say that next week on my live stream, next Thursday, I'm going to be giving away a set of these. He sent me a set to give away on my live stream. That will be a paid promotion because he gave them to me without me paying for them. So I have to declare it be a paid promotion next week. But anyway, I'm going to show these and you can get a set of these. It comes with the egg, the larvae. Let's see, egg, the larvae. Did I show you the larvae? Hang on. Well, maybe I didn't bring the larvae in here. Nah, I don't have the larvae, but it comes with larvae and rolled jelly. And it comes with a cute little bee. Look at this. Isn't that crazy? I mean, this is so fun to play with. It's a little bit, what is that called? ASMR or whatever. It's a little bit fun just to, play with it and kind of move it around. It's a great educational source for your kids too. So we'll give one away next live stream next week. And hey, Ryan, how are you? Thank you for your donation tonight. Appreciate it. So I do want to give away another jar of honey from the hive that we did our red wax experiment on. We harvested that honey and wanted to give a jar of this away. So tonight we're going to go ahead and let you see if you want to win one of these, a jar of honey tonight. Obviously, you kind of need to live in the 48 states, I think, for us to ship honey to you. But we'll do if you win, we'll substitute something else for you. But we do hope that you'll win the honey tonight. So #honey, leave that in the comment section now, and then we'll draw names in just a minute. It is very delicious. It's from flowers around my area within a 3-mile radius of me, mostly clover. You can tell by the color, and I can tell by the taste. And beautiful honey. So we're going to give another jar of that away tonight as well. And we're going to do spin the wheel in just a minute. That's going to be fun. So, all right, let's see. Go ahead and put in #honey in the comment section and your chance to win. And you can have some honey in your coffee or honey on your toast. And it's the same honey I'll be eating, having breakfast with you. All right. Let's see, Robbie, are we close? How many we got? Enough there to spin the wheel? Let's see what we got. All right, let's try to see who will win tonight. All right, here we go. A lot of viewers tonight. A lot of people in with us tonight. So I don't take that. I'm very humbled that you guys are watching. Lauren, you are the winner of the honey tonight. So you'll need to email us within 24 hours at longlanehoneybees@gmail.com, and we'll get this honey sent right out to you. So it may take a little bit longer, Lauren, because Sherry is traveling. So allow us 3 weeks to get this honey sent to you. Be patient. I can try to do it maybe, but if I can't, you're going to have to wait a few weeks. All right. So that's good that you guys are gracious to be patient while Sherry gets some needed time off. All right, let's do spin the wheel. Okay. If you don't know about Spin the Wheel, it's a place where we have a lot of things that you could actually win, or I can actually be forced to tell an embarrassing story or something. So let's see where we'll roll it and see where it lands tonight. All right. Where will it land? What will be available for us to look at tonight? Oh, when it lands on a Beak Squad, which it did tonight, we have another giveaway. So the giveaway tonight, let's do a tumbler. This is a nice Beak Squad tumbler, and tumbler confuses me. I sometimes call it a water bottle, but this is a nice tumbler. It's got the Beak Squad emblem on it. So let's say hashtag tumbler and see who will win our tumbler tonight. Absolutely. All right. Again, if you don't live in a place where we can ship this to you, if you're too far away on the other side of the pond or something, and we just can't get it to you, we'll substitute it with some digital classes or products or something if you win. So go ahead, hashtag tumbler, hashtag tumbler. This is a great opportunity for us to, while we're collecting our comments, to say, I do appreciate you guys so much. I really do enjoy making the video. Somebody said they appreciated the tireless way that I make videos. It is a tireless job. I do get tired, and I'm glad to have Pat Stevenson now. He's helping me with the video work out in the field. And man, the bees are after both of us today. When all the bees are home, wow. A lot more to contend with. Hives are fuller, so don't be kind of freaked out, friends, when your bee hives are more defensive, and there's a lot more bees at home, a lot more honey to protect. They're going to be a little bit wild this time of the year, so just get ready for that. By the way, if you don't win tonight, you see scrolling across the board at the bottom, if you're wanting a tumbler and you didn't win it, or if you want a hat, a Beak Squad hat, a Beak Squad shirt, Beak Squad. I'm called Beak. That's my handle on YouTube, and you're my squad. So we have a whole bunch of Beak Squad coaster things put around your pop cans and all. And if you just go to Candy's website, being flashed across the bottom there, Candy's by Creations by Candy .myshopify.com. You can order what you want and support the Beak Squad. That's a lot of fun too. All right, Robbie, let's see what we got here and who might win the tumbler tonight. And here we go. All right. Let's see who will win. Look at the names going by, slowing down a little bit. Philip Taylor. All right, Philip, way to go. Congratulations, Philip. You'll need to email us again, like I said earlier, within 24 hours so we can keep track of things. longlanehoneybees@gmail.com. And if I can't get that shipped out by myself in the next few days, then you'll have to wait a few weeks for Sherry to get back and straighten out the mess I made in her absence. Why did you get on my computer, David? Why did you attempt to do this? You've messed everything up. I can just see myself destroying it. So I'm not sure if I want to. Sherry is just brilliant. She has a business degree, and so she is so smart on being able to keep everything running good. And I appreciate what she's doing, and I'm glad that she's having a good break, a time of rest. All right. How about anybody have one last final question or two? We've got a few minutes, a couple of 3 minutes where I could take another burning question that you may not have gotten answered. All right, Terry, you squeaked in under the wire there. Way to go. I feed a deep frame sugar water feeder. You say stop feeding sugar water when it's too cold to fly. Do you start the candy board right away, even though winter isn't here? Over in Iowa, Council Bluffs. Good question. I don't start feeding candy boards right away. I don't. My purpose is to get my bees built up with the 1-to-1 sugar water in the fall, and then I don't feed them. Once it gets 50 degrees Fahrenheit, no more than that as a high temperature, the bees aren't really going to take that sugar water anymore. And I let them coast all the way down to about December, and then I put my candy boards on. I read some old literature way back, and they were using candy boards back then. And one gentleman I really admired in his bee work back then, he said he always likes to put his candy boards on I think he said the day before Christmas, something like that. So that's kind of the target date for me too, is around Christmas time. It depends on where you live, but here in Illinois, it gets brutal in January and February. So that's when we need it on there. Thanks, Mark. Thank you for your super sticker. All right. Well, we're out of time, believe it or not, but I want to thank all of you so much. I've got so many videos that are in the hopper to come out in the next, over the weekend, next few days, next week and all. You're going to really like them. And I do appreciate you watching my channel, but let me say this, please subscribe now. But when you watch one of my videos, if you leave a comment, or if you subscribe, or if you give me a thumbs up, or YouTube likes that. They will promote my video more, get me more views and all that. And it's not about the views, but I do want to get in touch with more beekeepers so that I can help more people. So the more that you give a thumbs up, the more that you leave a comment, the more the videos are going to be seen by more beekeepers. So if it's adding value to you, you can help me add value to other people in addition to yourself. So I do appreciate that. Anytime you subscribe, means the world to me. You guys are super. I love all of you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you're going through good times. I hope life is treating you well. I hope you're not going through struggles or difficulties. And if you are going through a hard time, if you are going through difficulties right now, hang in there. I appreciate you. And I really do want to say that I've got your back. If I could do something, if you were close to me, I'd help you out. I don't like to see people suffer. And that's why I teach so much about beekeeping, because I've suffered through poor beekeeping, not knowing stuff in the past, and it's painful. But whatever you're going through, you got a friend in me, and I appreciate you. And I want to thank Robbie and Jessica again tonight for doing a great job. We're going to say good night, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the next video or on the next live stream. Good night.